What's going on? I know it's been a while. Fantasy Ballers 2.0. It's a League Manager Flex. Basically going through, giving you guys a fat and meaty Fantasy Flex Playoff Edition. Doing it big. I know it's been a hot minute, but basically playoff time. It's time to come back and do the show. We did have our first round. I did miss out on it, but I am here to recap the first round because that's what I do. Tell you guys the truth, man. This has actually become my favorite league just due to the fact that I made, you know what I'm saying, it's a real playoff system. I mean, there's 10 teams, so the last 2 teams nobody really cares about because it doesn't really matter as far as I think it's the Cavaliers and the Celtics. But I'm moving into it like this. Let me do the standings, break that down, because the standings went like this for the year. You had the Orlando Magic taking the #1 overall seed with a record of 19-1. The Phoenix Suns with the #2 ranked team with a 17-3 record. Then you had the Atlanta Hawks coming in with the 3rd seed. They had a 12-8 record. Utah Jazz were the 4th seed with a 10-10 record at 500, as well as the New York Knicks. Myself, I take the 5th seed with a 500 record with a record of 10-10. The Miami Heat were the 6th seed with a 9-11 record. Then you had the Hornets sneaking in there with the 7-13 record, and the last seed, the #8 seed, believe it or not, the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers came in with a 6-14 record. They're actually the last. They're the bottom team of the other division, so that's how bad the East was this year. But let me move on up and go into last week's matchups, because this will be a little interesting. We'll move into the first matchup, the #1 versus 8, normally the crusher matchup, that which it was. You had the Orlando Magic, the #1 seed, big ups to Brian DeMelo doing his thing, taking out Jason Woodruff, the Los Angeles Lakers, the #8 seed, scoring that one, a nasty 1,988 to Jason's 1,267. I guess I won't mention anybody else by names. I'll just call you by your team from now on. Moving on up to the next matchup, that will pit the #2 Phoenix Suns against the #7 New Orleans Hornets. The Phoenix Suns took that one in a landslide lead with the score of 1,680 to a score of 1,297. Leading score for the Hornets was Nene with a score of 201, and the top score for the Phoenix Suns was Troy Murphy with a score of 284. By the way, for the Lakers, obviously the score there was Kobe Bryant, 253 points. The Magic's leading scorer for Mr. DeMelo was Carmelo Anthony, 344 points. That's just ridiculous. Now we go on to the #3 versus the #6. That was a close matchup. The next 2 matchups are actually pretty close. The Miami Heat going up against the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks take that one. An amazing score of 1583 to 1526. The leading scorer for the Heat, Danny Granger, 206 points. Leading scorer for the Hawks, Josh Smith, of course, 209. But I mean, that was a close one. And moving on up to the 5 and 4 matchup. I'm not trying to say I'm saving the best for last, but I just went down by the numbers, baby. I did 1, 2, 3, and 4. It just pits me #4 against #5. We both had 10-10 records. This was the closest matchup of the week. Basically went like this. I took out the the Utah Jazz. Score on that was 1694 to 1663. I beat the man by 31 points, and that's the closest victory. That's the closest margin of victory I guess I've had all year. Basically, leading score for me, David Lee, of course, 232 points. Monta Ellis for the Jazz, 266 points. And we move on up to the bracketology. You know what I'm talking about. So now we move on up to the semifinals puts the New York Knicks, the #5 seed, against the #1 seed, the Orlando Magic. That matchup right now is currently underway. And then the #2 matchup in the semifinals puts the #3 Atlanta Hawks against the #2 Phoenix Suns. Let's see what happens. Tune in next week. I'll do the full recap. Shout outs to everybody that's been up in the league, everybody that stayed active. Like I said, I wound up taking over this league, and this wound up becoming my favorite league, and I didn't even create it, man. This is just a straight duplicate off of I don't even remember his name anymore. but I deleted him, so or I deleted myself from his league. So, but like I said, appreciate you guys staying active. It is a keeper league, so I'll see you guys next year. Make sure you guys select your keepers. I plan on doing a whole new thing with a new chat box and fixing up the league. So everybody that's here, man, I appreciate you guys. See you guys soon. Like I said, tune in next week. The Fantasy Flex will be back. Gotta do a semifinals recap, finals preview, and we're gonna keep it moving. Like I said, the semifinals are on the way right now. Tune into your scoreboard tabs. This is Flex, and I'm out.